Okay, let's get into it. Hard rock. It's a sound that, I mean, it completely changed the game for rock and roll.
Oh, absolutely.
So today, we're going to break down what makes it tick. The actual combination of sound, structure, and sheer attitude that defines it.
What's really interesting is how intentional it all was.
Yeah.
Hard rock popped up as its own thing in the late 1960s.
Right.
It didn't just appear. It grew straight out of blues rock and psychedelic rock. But the musicians were making a very clear choice to push the volume and the aggression way past what anyone had done before.
So it wasn't just like louder blues, it was a whole new design.
Exactly. You had bands like Cream and then Led Zeppelin taking that basic blues structure and just layering it with these heavier, darker tones. They sped things up and really deepened the menace of the sound.
And if you want to spot a hard rock song in like 3 seconds, you just have to listen for one thing.
The riff.
The riff. It's that short, catchy, repeating musical idea. It's basically the song's DNA.
It has to be memorable enough to get stuck in your head, but powerful enough to carry the whole track. Everything else is built right on top of it.
But to get that huge sound out there, the places they played had to change too.
Yeah, you couldn't really do this in a small, smoky club. I mean, you could, but the vision was bigger.
They were moving to stadiums.
Exactly. And you need a sound system that can just overpower a crowd of, what, 50,000 people?
Which is why you start seeing those giant stacks of amplifiers, that famous wall of sounds.
And it wasn't just about being loud. It was about creating a physical feeling, something that made the music feel like this massive force of nature. It's how rock took over those huge outdoor festivals.
Okay, let's unpack the toolkit. If the riff is the foundation, then the electric guitar is the architect, specifically the lead guitarist.
The electric guitar is absolutely the main voice, no question. The lead guitarist is expected to deliver these long, really complex solos.
And these aren't just for showing off, right?
Well, a little bit. But they're also dramatic high points in the song. They're a showcase of technical skills, speed, bending notes, all designed to create this peak of emotional energy.
But a solo is just one part of it. The real engine is the rhythm section. The bass player's job is so critical. They are the anchor. They have to lock in with the drums and provide that solid, low-end foundation. If the bass is all over the place, the whole song just falls apart.
And the drummer has to match that intensity. When we say powerful drums, we mean they're playing with serious force.
Big kits, too.
Huge kits, lots of cymbals, multiple drums, sometimes even 2 bass drums, all because they need to cut through those super loud guitars. That connection, that groove between the steady bass and the hard-hitting drums is what gives the music its forward push.
But the real secret sauce, I think, is the sound of the guitar itself. It all comes down to electronic distortion.
Yes.
It's not just turning up the volume dial. You're kind of deliberately breaking the sound to get that signature tone.
That's a great way to put it. You're pushing the amplifier's vacuum tubes, or transistors, so hard that they can't handle the clean signal anymore.
How it clips it.
It clips the waveform, yeah. And that process adds all these extra harmonics, which is what creates that thick, heavy, crunchy sound that just screams rock.
And to really get the most out of that distortion, musicians use a couple of key techniques. First one, power chords.
Super important.
For anyone listening, that's just 2 notes, the main note and the 5th note above it. When you play that simple chord with a ton of distortion, you get this really dense, heavy sound without it getting all muddy.
And the second thing is sustain. That's where a guitarist makes one single note ring out for a really, really long time.
How do they do that?
Sometimes it's just the sheer volume causing feedback that you can control. Or you can use pedals, like a compressor, to keep the signal strong. It lets the guitar hold a note almost like a singer.
And you see them stomping on foot pedals all the time in a performance. Things like wah-wahs or overdrives to change up the tone, maybe for a solo.
Right, add some flavor. Now, if we look at how these songs are actually put together, the rhythm is, well, it's relentless. Most hard rock is in a 44-time signature.
Which just means 4 beats per measure. It makes it easy to follow.
Exactly. It's predictable in a good way. It makes it easy for a huge crowd to clap along or nod their head. The tempo is usually pretty upbeat, too.
And that physical thump we were talking about, the one you feel in your chest,
Yeah.
that comes from the kick drum and the bass guitar, often playing the exact same rhythm, locked in together. It creates this huge single wave of low-end sound.
And on top of that, you have a really strong backbeat. The drummer is hitting the snare drum hard on the 2nd and 4th beats. That's the classic rock feel.
But they mix it up a little, right, so it doesn't get boring.
Oh, yeah. They use syncopation, which just means playing notes in between the main beats. It makes the riff sound more aggressive and complex, even while that powerful 44 pulse is hammering away underneath.
So the song structure itself is also pretty reliable. It's a proven formula.
It works.
The introduction almost always kicks off with that main guitar riff. It's like the song's calling card.
Then the verses come in, and the volume might dip a little bit. That's where the story gets told.
And then comes the chorus. That's the big payoff. It's the loudest, most memorable part, designed for everyone in the audience to sing along.
After that, you often get a bridge, which is like a little detour. It changes things up, maybe slows down or shifts the mood, just to build tension before you slam back into the chorus or the solo.
And yeah, pretty much every song has that dedicated solo spot. It's time for the lead guitarist to shine.
And finally, the outro. The song either fades out slowly, repeating the riff, or it just ends with a huge sudden crash.
It's all about managing energy, building it up, releasing it.
And you can't talk about that energy without talking about the vocals. I mean, the demands on a hard rock singer are just insane.
You need incredible stamina just to be heard over that wall of sound.
And a huge vocal range. Singers often use a raspy or kind of gravelly tone, just so their voice can cut through all the distorted guitars.
And the techniques are pretty extreme. Lots of powerful, belting, high-pitched screams. It's all about emphasizing the emotion of the lyrics.
But the singer's job is more than just singing. They're the front man, the leader of the band engaging the crowd. The lyrics might be about freedom or rebellion, but it's the charisma of the delivery that sells it.
Which brings us to the live show. I mean, hard rock is really meant to be experienced live.
100%. A recording is great, but a stadium show is where you get the full kinetic energy of it.
It's basically theater. You've got these huge stage setups, complex lighting rigs that are all synced to the music, and sometimes,
Pyrotechnics, fire.
Fire, exactly. The whole visual show has to match how intense the music sounds. It makes it all feel larger than life.
And the center of all that is the connection between the band and the audience. The crowd sings the words back, they clap along, it's a two-way street.
The look became part of it, too. The fashion was its own uniform.
The uniform of rebellion. Long hair, tight jeans or leather pants, boots, band t-shirts.
Studded belts, silver chains. The whole look was designed to reflect the tough, defiant attitude of the music itself.
What's so wild is trying to capture all that raw energy in a quiet recording studio. It's a huge technical challenge.
Because the very thing that makes it great live, the sheer volume, is your worst enemy when you're trying to get a clean recording.
You have to be so precise with the microphones. You might need, 10 or 12 mics just on the drum kit to capture everything clearly.
And the guitar amps are so loud they have to be put in separate soundproofed rooms?
Yeah, you have to isolate them. Otherwise, the sound of the guitar bleeds into the drum mics or the vocal mic, and the whole thing just turns to mud.
So once you've recorded all the parts, that's when the studio magic comes in. Things like compression.
Compression's a big one. It's a tool that basically squishes the sound. It makes the quiet parts louder and the loud parts quieter.
So everything sounds more even?
More even and more powerful. It gives the track that dense, punchy feel that works really well on the radio. Then the final mastering process just makes sure that sound is going to work everywhere, from tiny earbuds to a massive club sound system.
And now in the modern era, technology has changed things again.
It's a mix, really. You have digital amplifiers that can perfectly copy the sound of those classic old tube amps.
And wireless systems on stage, so performers can run all over the place without tripping over cables.
A huge one is in-ear monitors. The volume on stage is so dangerously loud, these little earbuds give each musician a perfect custom mix of the band right in their ears. It protects their hearing and helps them play perfectly in time.
But it's funny, even with all this new tech, a lot of the legendary players,
They still want the old tube amps.
they swear by them. They say you just can't replicate that warm analog sound.
So it's this constant balancing act between old school tradition and new technology.
For a genre that seems so stuck in its ways, it's actually changed a lot over the decades. In the 70s, it got more theatrical. You had these big concept albums.
Then the 80s made it more melodic and polished. It was all about getting on the radio and MTV. Hard rock is this glossy, stadium-sized entertainment.
Then the 90s brought the grit back. It blended the classic riff with the raw sound of alternative and grunge music, which made everything darker and heavier again.
That ability to adapt and absorb new ideas is why it's still so relevant.
And its influences, well, it's everywhere. Pop artists use rock-style riffs all the time to give a song some energy.
And drumming techniques that were invented for hard rock are now just standard. You hear them in funk, jazz, everywhere.
And think about movie soundtracks. Anytime there's a big auction scene, what do you hear? That driving beat and distorted guitar? It's the universal sound for energy and excitement.
So in the end, it didn't just give us famous bands. It gave us a blueprint for performance, for recording, for sound itself that's still fundamental to almost all popular music today.
So hard rock is clearly way more than just loud music. It's a cornerstone of modern pop culture, built on power, innovation, and an absolute commitment to putting on a spectacular show.
Think about your favorite song right now, whatever it is. Can you hear a little bit of that original rebellious hard rock attitude in there driving the beat?
Good luck with your studies.